Hey everybody, RK here in what we like to call the Rad Years Test Kitchen. It's actually just our kitchen here in the house covered in boxes of cereal. You can see Schmuffin up in her bed up there. We're about to make a Halloween Chex Mix, which I first learned about back in June on DinosaurDracula.com. Matt posted the recipe, which was cut from a magazine back in the 1980s, and he made a batch himself. He said, everyone needs to make a batch this weekend. I figured I'd wait till Halloween so we could talk about it in the podcast, and I could finally make another YouTube video for you guys. So we're going to try this out.
So like I said, Dinosaur Dracula posted this recipe back in June, and he encouraged everybody to make it that weekend. It was a great ad from a magazine in the 1980s. And I decided it's the perfect thing to make for Halloween. So I got all my dry ingredients together, the Chex, rice, corn, and wheat, the glowing orange Hers cheese popcorn, and of course everyone's favorite chili cheese Fritos. Some ketchup, some Worcestershire sauce, of course the seasonings, the Tabasco, of course you need that for Hot'n Devilish. And then you get your Keller butter to melt, that fresh Pennsylvania Dutch butter. We're going to speed things up just so you can see how awesome this recipe is. I figured out how to turn my stove on and I melt the butter, and you got to do it slow. I had my heat on like extremely low, like 2 or 3 setting, while it melted nice and slow so you don't burn it. Keep mixing to stir it up, and then you're about ready to start putting the other seasonings in. Now, of course, you got to have a beer in there. The Worcestershire sauce goes into the butter, just a whole tablespoon there, and I put a little more in just for extra flavor because it's delicious. Ketchup, a little extra squirt, another tablespoon of that. I like ketchup. Not everybody likes ketchup. You mix that up nice, get the clumps out, and let it blend into the butter because you're going to need this to evenly coat the Chex mix. Next is the hot sauce. We use Tabasco here. I was going to use sriracha, but I figured why not just go to Tabasco. It said for a half or a full teaspoon. I tried to get a teaspoon in there, and it takes forever, so I just shook out a fuckload of Tabasco sauce into my butter and seasoning mixture. It is so windy on Halloween night. It was just like blowing our house. It's a creepy night. Anyway, it just goes well with the season. So I mix all those wet ingredients together, and it's about time to add some spices. What I used was freshly ground black pepper. I did a pinch of kosher salt, some garlic powder. You gotta use a little it's a kosher salt there. I'm going out of order. I'm not Babish kids. I used the kosher salt just to give it a little more salty kick. The onion powder, and then I used some cayenne pepper and Lawry's seasoning salt to give it an extra hot, spicy kick. I put cayenne pepper in my regular Christmas Chex Mix, the traditional recipe, so why not put it in the Hot'n Devilish Halloween Chex Mix recipe. Time for the corn Chex, the rice Chex, the wheat Chex. You're supposed to pour these in gradually, but I just dumped them all in. Mix it all together to evenly coat all the Chex in that buttery goodness. Check to see your oven's hot. Keep mixing and make sure it's all spread out, and get it in a 300-degree oven, like I said earlier. Just repeating myself, making sure I'm right. Did a little taste test. It's delicious. And you get in the oven. After 10 minutes in the oven, stir it up like this. And then measure out 3 cups of cheese popcorn and 2 cups of chili cheese Fritos. Stir that in, put it back in the oven for 10 minutes, and pull out that delicious Hot'n Devilish Halloween Chex Mix. Taste a few pieces because it's going to be good. Turn your oven off so you don't burn your house down, and let it cool.
So I let the Hot'n Devilish Halloween Chex Mix cool, and today it's Halloween, and I'm finally going to try it out. I mean, I snuck a few bites while it was still hot, but now it's cooled off, and it's in its official munching down state. We got Trick or Treat on. We are ready for Halloween. We're not breaking any of the rules. Let's try some of this. This is really good. This is a perfect Halloween snack. Thank you, Matt at Dinosaur Dracula. Thank you, Chex. And thank you, Hers, for making such bright orange popcorn. I'm RK, and happy Halloween.